a lot of our suffering happens because we forget what is in our control. And what is number one in our control are our thoughts and our actions. And when we can clearly state, hey, what is within my control? Then that brings a bit of empowerment back to us.
Welcome to the Seeds of Growth podcast. My name is Pumehana Palmer. I'm a mindset and growth coach to new real estate agents, small business owners, and high-achieving female entrepreneurs. I believe that true success happens from the inside out, and I'm on a mission to plant seeds of growth and transformation, one powerful conversation at a time. Each week, I'll bring you a solo episode, interview, or coaching experience with business owners just like you to help you shift your perspective, elevate your beliefs, and build a business that inspires you. Now let's dive into today's episode.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to another episode of Seeds of Growth, where we have powerful conversations that plant seeds of growth and transformation in the minds of high-achieving entrepreneurs just like you. I am your host, Pumehana Palmer, and today's episode is actually a recording of an Instagram live I did the other day. It's a series called Healing with Pumehana, where I take experiences from my personal life and model the healing process for you. I see a lot of online educators who teach you the steps of processing and transformation, but you don't actually see it modeled for you in real time with situations that elicit elevated emotions in them. In the spirit of authenticity and transparency, that's what I do every Monday at 8 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. In this episode, I share with you my 4-step healing process to move through and overcome just about every problem in my life. Now, it's important to note that just because I have a process for it, it doesn't necessarily mean that I have this down packed. In no way am I a master at this, that life is easy for me and anytime there's a problem, this is just what I do. I am still human. I still have elevated emotions and I still get triggered. And the beauty with this process is that even when I get triggered and knocked down, I don't stay there long because I have these tools. And my intention for you is that you take these tools, that you take this process and you put it in your toolbox and bring it out whenever you need to, so that when you get triggered and knocked down, you can take this tool out and not let it keep you down for long. This, my friends, is my processing process, and it comes straight out of the Unstuck Workbook that I created and is available on my website. So with that, I invite you to open your heart, lean in, and enjoy this episode. Good morning. Happy Aloha Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Healing with Pumehana. Today's going to be a little different. I do not have an emotional occurrence to unpack. I don't have anything from my personal life that I want to specifically share with you, other than today is my oldest daughter's birthday. Today, though, I do want to share with you a method that you guys have seen in my past lives. And this is basically the method that I use to keep myself or get myself unstuck. There's so many things that go on in our life that keeps us stuck and keeps us small, whether it's something from our external reality, whether it's something that somebody said that triggers us, or something that happened to us. A lot of times we get in our heads with it and we keep ourselves stuck. And I think there's so many of us that have been stuck in an instance that happened so many years ago, like years, decades, so much time has passed, and yet still we have yet to move on from it. So I want to share with you my methodology of moving through things that make you stuck. In honor of Cyber Monday, I do have a discount on the digital products that I have created, the workbooks. And one of them is this. It's called Unstuck, from blocked to breakthrough in 4 simple steps. And within my past lives, you guys have seen me go through a lot of these steps. Specifically, step 1 is grounding. So that's what I'm going to do with you guys today. I'm going to go through the 4 steps so that you guys can take this into your lives and implement them. And if this is something that you feel that is helpful for you, then please, I encourage you to use my discount code Grateful30 to get 30% off of all of my digital products that I have on my website at pumehanapalmer.com. And you can go to the menu and hit store and see what I have available. I put a lot of work and a lot of my heart into these digital products. I've also done this myself over the past 8 to 10 years. I've done a lot of growth and I've done a lot of work in myself. And what I am here to do is pass it on to you. So let's dive in, shall we? 4 steps to unstuck from block to breakthrough in 4 simple steps. Step 1 is to ground yourself. Step 2 is to unpack. Step 3 is plan to grow. Step 4 is to look back to look ahead. That one is probably the most fun out of all of the steps. I would say my favorite is step 1 is the grounding, which again, you guys have seen me model that for you. And grounding is basically just that of getting yourself grounded and present in where you're at right here, right now. And a lot of times that comes physically. That is focusing on the breath, focusing on the body, focusing on the sensations that you're feeling, really getting grounded and being super and hyper present with what's going on. Because a lot of times when we are elevated emotionally, we're spiraling downward. We're thinking of all of the things, the what if this, and I can't believe she did that. And it's spiraling into what happened in the past and spiraling into what could happen in the future in the negative way. I think that we don't often spiral upwards in the what ifs of the future or the positive what ifs of the future, which that's kind of step 4, but we'll get into that. So some of the questions in the workbook it asks you to do just that. Brain dump and list out all of the emotions that you're feeling. When you can label these things, then it kind of takes away its power. So in the grounding step, we, like I said, focus on the emotions. What am I feeling right now? What emotions am I feeling right now? And really tap into that. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling overwhelmed. What are the physical sensations? Let's get grounded in the physical sensations. I'm feeling a tightness in my chest. I'm feeling a heaviness and weight in my shoulders. All right. Zone in on that. Really get grounded into the physical senses. And what's really important is that we come and we look at these things from a neutral perspective, almost from a place of, not almost, but from a place of curiosity and non-judgment. I found that when I've done this in the past, where I'm feeling a tightness in my shoulders, but, oh, I don't know, I went to the gym yesterday, so that could be it too. Like, no. That's where I have to pause myself. And that's where I would encourage you to pause yourself. Because what this is simply a meaning-making machine. Meaning that all this is, your brain, your mind, it is looking for meaning in everything. A lot of us, and if you are a spicy little neurodivergent like I am, we often look for things to make sense. So it almost sometimes feels like we're grasping at straws so that we can conceptualize and analyze and often analyze our feelings away. Oh, I'm feeling this because of this. Okay, I don't need to focus on it. I don't need to look at it. Right? Jessica, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? That's the spiral. So the purpose of step one in becoming unstuck from whatever it is, it's getting grounded, becoming neutral and calming the waters. There's a fable or a story that I won't get into. I think I said it on a podcast a while ago. Our mind is like a pond, right? And when there's a lot of movement underneath the surface, when there's a lot of action that's like the dirt underneath that's getting moved and mixed up, and, you know, the water is not at peace, not at rest. It's murky, right? There's anxiety that's going on. And once the pond settles, once everything that's underneath the surface, all the dirt, all the rocks and in grime and whatnot, once that all settles, then the pond becomes clear. The water becomes clear and it's easy to see. So the purpose of this neutral step is to get grounded, is to get calm so that we can move forward into the next steps with clarity. Step two is to unpack, really to ask these clarifying questions. Because we've taken care of step one, because we've grounded ourselves, because our pool, our pond is clear, then we can ask ourselves these questions. We can allow for self-analysis from a place of neutrality, from a place of non-judgment, because we know that it was the emotions that were clouding our judgment. And that's not to say that our emotions were good or bad or anything like that or negative. It's just we're cleaning the lenses, if you will, so that we can see clearly. And a lot of times when we can name that which we are feeling, it kind of takes away the power. So we've given attention to the feelings that we're feeling, and now they can subside. Step two is to unpack, really to ask ourselves these clarifying questions. From there, actually, within the workbook, at the very top of this page, I ask you to really just kind of brain dump on the situation. Hey, what's going on? What is the situation that you're in that is making you feel stuck? That's making you feel disempowered? And you can just write it all out, get it out of your head and onto paper. And then once you have that, almost that feeling of I'm complete, then we can ask ourselves these questions. What is true about the situation? I think that question of what is true is so powerful, because especially when there's somebody else involved, to an extent, we don't really know what their truth is, but we do know what our truth is. And our truth was that we are feeling a certain way. And what is true is simply what happened. Next question is probably one of my favorite questions. It's what is in my control in this situation? I truly believe that a lot of our suffering happens because we forget what is in our control. And what is number one in our control are our thoughts and our actions. Our thoughts and our actions. We cannot change anyone else. Yes, we can influence them, but we cannot change them. And when we focus on, and when we can clearly state, hey, what is within my control? Then that brings a bit of empowerment back to us, because that's all we're looking for. I think, like I said, a lot of us, you know, when we're spiraling out of, when we are spiraling out of control, when our minds are spiraling out of control, it's because we forgot that we actually have control over these things. As hard as it is to stop, you know, the momentum of our emotions, especially if they're elevated, the momentum of our thoughts, it's really difficult to stop. But once we gain that awareness, then we can pump the brakes. Hold on. Oh, wait. This is my mind. These are my thoughts. I am in control. And there's also the question of what is outside of my control. When we list those things off, what is outside of my control? Other people's actions, other people's behaviors, what other people think. We cannot control that. Like I said, yes, we can influence them. However, we're not quite there yet. Not at this stage of unpacking, not at this stage of being unstuck. When we can come to terms with what is outside of our control, then there's this beautiful position of surrender, of releasing and letting go. And to an extent, I find that within myself is that sometimes there's a bit of relief that comes when I can say, there's nothing that I can do about that. Because then I can breathe a little easier. And for those of you who are spiritual, then you can co-create with the universe. Then you can say, here, you take this stuff. Like, I'm going to just delegate this put it onto your to-do list. And that's what we want. I think that's what we're looking for, is that little bit of sense of relief of just, you just take it. Like, here, you take that, because there's so much that's going on in our lives where all the plates are spinning, right? Remember those, I think it was Chinese or something, the spinning plates act in the circus. We are spinning all the plates. And some of these plates are ceramic. And some of these plates are those freaking Corel, the plastic ones, or if you drop, they'll just bounce. But the ceramic ones, the super important ones, if you drop those spinning plates, they shatter. And those are our priorities. The number one spinning plate is the relationship that we have with ourselves. And what we need to do is make sure that we are good, that we keep that plate spinning. Sometimes it might slow down, but we keep that plate spinning because that is us. We are the ones who are feeling stuck. We need to pay attention to that. And from there, we'll keep the other plate spinning. So that's step 2. That is unpack. Step 3 is plan to grow. Step 1 and 2 was getting present, right? In the right here, right now. What am I feeling? What is in my control? What is outside of my control? Step 3 and 4 are a little more forward facing. And this is what your coach does. Your coach gets you looking towards the future in a positive and hopeful sense with that kind of lens. So with this plan to grow, my first question is, what is the desired outcome? What do you want? What do you want out of this situation that is making you feel unstuck? What do you want out of whatever is making waves within your pond? Because now you remember that, hey, I do have control. I do have influence over this situation. What is it that I want? And I think for a lot of us have become or have noticed and are aware of people-pleasing tendencies. So we often look to other people and look at the situation around us, and we just make sure we want everything to be okay. Want everybody, what is the word? Copacetic. We want homeostasis, and we are willing to change ourselves. We are willing to change what we want for the sake of homeostasis. And we so often, so quickly forget that, hey, we can have what we want. It's okay to ask for what we want, because that is what's going to keep that number one most important ceramic plate going, is having what we want and what we desire, because we are deserving of it. We are. So what is your desired outcome? What do you want, right? What do you want to feel? The second question is, in order to move forward, I need to believe that. Finish the sentence. In order to move forward, I need to believe that I am deserving of what I want. In order to move forward, I need to believe, and we're talking to ourselves here. For you, if you were my client and I was your coach, in order for you to move forward, what do you need to believe about this situation? That everything is going to be okay? That you deserve to have what you want? That you're not going to end up alone? You need to believe that people love you. You need to believe that you are capable of getting through this. What do you need to believe? And the next question is, what are 3 things that I can do to move forward? And the beautiful thing about this question, and what I absolutely love and what I tell my clients, is that these don't have to be the actual steps that you implement. This is just to get your brain going. This is just to get the momentum of thought going. What immediately comes to mind is, I don't know if you guys have kids or if you have seen the Inside Out movie. There's a scene in Inside Out where the main character, Riley, is sleeping. And what is it called? I think it's called the train of thought. And in order for joy, sadness, and her invisible friend, Bilbo, something. In order for them to wake Riley up, they had to get her train of thought moving. And if you look back to the things that make us stuck, it's that train of thought. It's that which spirals us downward. So all we're doing is utilizing that same system as momentum to get you thinking more positive, to get you be thinking a little more hopeful and pointing your train in the direction of that which you actually want. Because so often, like I was saying, our train of thought, our momentum is going backwards. It's going downwards. It's going in a direction that we don't want. And yet it's so easy. So with this question of what 3 things can I do to move forward? There's so much possibility in the word can. What can I do? Say you're having a disagreement with a friend and she's actually a friend, and you're so worried that this disagreement, you're so worried that this conflict is going to lead you down a path in which you guys aren't friends anymore just because of this conflict. But I can argue that going one step back, what do I need to believe in order to move forward? I need to believe that this conflict is a good thing. I need to believe that this conflict, this disagreement, will help build our bond and make us stronger. And the next question, what 3 things can I do to move forward? I could text her and say, hey, I'd really like to talk about this. Let's set a date. Let's set a time, right? Or I could write her a letter. Like I said, all of these things, you don't have to do them, but it's going to build momentum. And it's almost a numbers game. The more ideas that you have, the chances are one of them is going to be good. One of them is going to feel good enough for you to take a step forward with. That's all that is. And in the workbook, I say that you can put 3 things. Hell, you can put 5. Whatever you want to do or more. It's just to get your wheels turning. Step 4 is by far my favorite step. It's the most fun. I titled it Look Back to Look Ahead. And this is just a simple little exercise where you fast forward 3 years, 5 years into the future. 3 years is fine. And you're turning around and you're looking back and you're saying, you're going to write a letter to me. It's going to start off like this. Hey, Pumehana, it's been 3 years since that block, and I have to tell you what happened. And from there, you just go. Just write. Write out the way that it played out. Write out the way that you want it to play out. I think one of the most powerful times that I did this with a friend was when she was, oh goodness, I think her son was maybe about a month or 2 months old. And she was having the hardest time nursing him. And there was so much guilt and so much shame that she was feeling around it. For whatever reason, it didn't work. It wasn't working with the two of them. And she was at this impasse of like, do I keep pushing? Do I keep going? I don't know what to do. It's not working. And I said, hold on. What do you want to be able to say? I did this. I think I said 3 years. I said, hold on, pause. Fast forward 3 years. He's 3 years old and you were talking about this right here, right now. What do you want to be able to say about this time? And she said, I want to say that I listened to my body. I want to say that it worked for some other people, but it didn't work for us. And we just chose to move forward. And he is still loved. And he's still a very happy baby. And he is healthy. And he said, there you go. And I think he's like 2 now, maybe about 2.5. And he is. He's a very happy baby. He was very healthy and he is loved. And that's all that matters. So those are my 4 steps to being unstuck. I know that it'll serve you because it served myself and so many of my clients. And if this is something that you want to do for yourself, I have my workbook on pumehanapalmer.com. Everything is 30% off until November 30th. At the end of the day, Hawaii Standard Time. So if you guys are on the mainland, then you are in luck. But using the code GRATEFUL30 will give you 30% off of all of my digital products. And I'm really proud of them. I'm so proud to be able to share them with you. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I'm so excited to hear how these items, how these clarifying questions helped you get unstuck. And eventually you guys with Healing with Pumehana, I would absolutely love to turn this into almost like a office hours. And if you guys need coaching, then I am here every Monday at 8 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. There's something that you want to be coached on? Hop on, shoot me a DM. I'd love to help you through it. I'd love to help you rediscover yourself and grow. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so stoked for you. Thank you so much. I'll see you again in a week. Aloha.
Thanks so much for listening. If this episode served you, please do me a small favor and head to your favorite podcast platform to rate and review the show. Your small act will play an exponential role in getting these powerful conversations out into the world. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at @PumeHanaPalmer and DM me with your insight and takeaways. See you next time. Aloha.